Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. Well, as you can see, I'm using my car's dash cam to do this introductory piece, and this is my first day out fishing for the last 2 months, because if you watched last week's video you'd have known that I damaged my index finger. Still not sure about it, it's not too bad, but we'll see how it goes today. But particularly today, what I want to do is to come down to this huge reservoir. Excuse me. This is the one I was supposed to fish two months ago, but then couldn't because of my hand. So I've come down today to try my hand at these new window feeders that I've made on the 3D printer. And I'm hoping they're going to work fine, and I'll tell you a lot more about them once we get on the bank. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spin the camera around from the dash cam. I'll do that. There we are. Now we've got to find a way down here, so I may have to go forwards and backwards a bit, and it could be a bit treacherous, so bear with me. That's a big hole over on that one there, so I think we're probably going to go this way, but I'm going to have a quick look at this one first of all, just to see what's what. Oh no, we can get down this one. My wife's in the car with me and she's hanging onto the door. Excuse me. That's right, I had man flu a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still suffering from it a little bit. We should be able to get along this track quite well. A little bit bumpy. We're going to go about 3/4 of a kilometre, about half a mile along here, so I won't show you the whole journey, but you can see that it's a beautiful place. The reservoir's at about 60-ish% full, and if I go down this way, I think, watching for all the ruts. Good job I've got all-wheel drive, isn't it? Otherwise some of that soft sand that you see in front of us down there would be catching us out. Okay, there we go. Right, now we'll stay up on the top there. You probably can't see it from the cameras, but just up off the track to the left is very soft sand, and even with all-wheel drive you can get bogged down in that. It's not like a commercial here, is it, eh? Today's Friday, and it's just the start of June, which is winter here. Temperature at the moment is probably about 8 degrees. Let's see how we are, but you might be able to see all this soft sand to my left. We're bouncing around here, and I'm probably going to wind up all the way up at that far bit just up there where the point is. The roads haven't been too bad so far, but you can see all the ruts where all the four-wheel drives have come down with all their, 36-inch tyres and all the rest of it. My wife's still hanging onto the door handle like grim death. Right, we're getting a little bit more soft sand now. Actually, we might just, I think, fish in this area here. We go into an inlet here, look, and this can get a bit sort of soft. So what we're going to do is turn it around and go and fish probably just in that open bit there where there's no trees in the water. And this is actually quite hard ground, so that's not too bad. So that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Anyway, that's how we get to do fishing over here. And what I'll do now is I'll turn the dash cam off, and I'll go and get myself set up, and I'll be back to you in a second once we're all ready to go. Okay then folks, that's me all set up. It's about 10 o'clock at the moment. The sun's coming from over there, quite bright, so I've got the camera facing this way so I don't get blinded into the lens. As you can see, all ready to go. I've actually put 6 feeder falls already out there just to get things started, because it does take about 2 hours generally to get your first bite. And as we're into winter now and it's pretty damn cold, I thought, well, I'll get some feed out there, and at least then I can be talking to you about this whilst I'm waiting for the fish to turn up. So basically then, what are we looking at with these window feeders? Well, I've got 2 different versions. You can see how big they are. There's my thumb, and that's how big that is. I've got them in 55, 65 and 75 gram weights, and I've also got them as these sort of enclosed feeders, and I've also got the same things in these cage feeders. So of course these ones are for shallow water, or when you want the bait to fall through the water, and these ones are for when you want to get to the bottom, because the fish here tend to feed on the bottom. So I'll be using these today, and that's why I've got 6 of those. But I've also got these thinner versions for if I don't need as much bait going in. But generally here I'm going to stick with this great big thing. These smaller ones are 50, 60 and 70 grams. And again, you've got the cage and the enclosed sort of feeders. So what's so special about these feeders then? Well, I probably will do a video to show you this in the tank. It's a bit difficult today to try and do it here, but basically I've made these so that when they hit the water, they fly along like that, and they actually hit the water like that, and they actually sit like that. And it always lies with the window lying to the side. Now, if you think about it, with a normal window feeder, it could actually end up sitting like that, but obviously that's not what we're talking about here. When you've pulled the thing flat like that by pulling in a bit of line, it could actually sit with the window facing upwards. And that, well, yeah, I mean, the fish can get to it and they can knock it about, because this is carp fishing we're talking about here, not bream and stuff like that. But it could also land on that side, it could land this way, or it could actually land face down. So I want my feeders to always land so that the window is facing literally that way, so the bait falls out. And to do that, I've just actually put the weight in at a slight sort of bias off to the side rather than straight down the middle. So I have actually cast in already, as you've seen. I've got something like 12 feet of depth out there, and I've gone to 52 turns. Now, obviously with window feeders, you could use them for going a lot longer ranges, and I've only got the 55 gram feeder on at the moment. I've cast out to 52 meters because it's a reasonable depth. I've got a fair bit of wind coming in, and that wind's going to get stronger through the day. And so what I wanted was something which punched through the air. Now, I could have just used a great big plastic cage feeder, but generally I can get to about 45, maybe 50 meters with one of those on this particular rod, which is the Free Spirit CTX power feeder, 13 foot. And of course I've got the Matrix Horizon X 5000 size reel. So neither of these is particularly designed for massive distances, but I do have the Big Brother version of the rod on order at the moment. That's the 13 foot distance job, and that'll cast up to 160 grams. This one will only cast up to 120, so I'm not really trying to go to the ends of the lake today. All I'm trying to do is to get a good distance and punch it out straight. Because when I've got an ordinary cage feeder on, the standard one which is side weighted, what can happen is that the wind catches the line because it's coming this way and it pulls it off line. I've noticed with this, it is flying a lot straighter, and I could get a lot further than 52 meters, but frankly, why push it when I don't need to? I haven't fished this particular area for probably 3 years now, and again, this being right into winter now, I may or may not catch any fish, but what this is doing is hopefully just sort of shaking any bugs out of these feeders. Now, as I said, they are big feeders because this is a huge water, and even in winter, where you'd normally, if this was a commercial, you'd feed a couple of bits of corn or a couple of pellets or something. Here, it doesn't seem to make any difference. They just want feed. So I'm not going to go mad, but I am going to stay with this big feeder. What I'll do now is I'll reel this in and we'll fill it all up, and I can show you how it casts. And then I'll put my sunglasses on and my hat, because the sun's quite bright today, even though it is pretty chilly. Right, as I say, it's 52 turns, which is probably about 50 meters plus the length of the rod. So let's call it, I don't know, between 50 and 55 meters I've gone out. As I say, could go further if I wanted to, but shouldn't need to. So there we are, look, standard sort of setup. I've got at the moment 4 pieces of corn on a size 10 hook with a hair. What I'll do, in fact, so you can see, if I grab my ground bait box, because you're on the wrong side now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a load of corn, chuck it in here. A little bit awkward doing it this way. I've got some pellets, I'm going to chuck those in there as well, like some flavour, just tamp them in a bit, and then I'm just going to get some ground bait and tamp it into there like that, maybe a little bit more just to fill it up, but that's it, that's all there is to it. And oops, right, hopefully I haven't tangled around a rod tip, but we need to check for that just to be on the safe side. We're okay. So as I say, none of this tackle is particularly designed for distance, but the most I ever need to go is maybe 70 metres. I don't need 100-metre chucks. But this, there we go, good straight chuck, hit the clip, and there we are. Straight in, no problem. It's actually very easy, much easier than using a standard cage feeder with the side weight on. So as I say, I've got about 12 feet down there. Just allow that to settle a little bit. There we go. And that's it. We're hoping that we'll catch a few today, but as I say, being as it's winter, I'll hedge my bets and say we might. But yep, that's me putting my sunglasses on, get my hat on, and maybe get a quick cup of tea. Oh, hang on. Whoa! Oh, would you believe that? Would you believe it? That's a second chuck. I'd literally put those 6 feederfuls out there to start with, and I reeled in as you saw, second chuck, and it's gone round virtually, well, I don't know, was that 30 seconds or so? Wow. Well, it's working, isn't it? Fish in here are generally sort of in the 4 pound range, and because it's winter, I didn't give myself a bit of extra leeway to the line clip there, because you can usually get them in, but I could have just taken the line clip off, or I could have used one of those rubber bands, but we'll just go for what's easiest today. As you saw, that wasn't too desperate. But yeah, well, I've probably been fishing for no more than 10 minutes having put those 6 feederfuls in. Okay, see how my finger's holding up? See the pressure against your finger there? I'm trying to keep it off that a bit. Right, it's a long way in when you're doing 52 turns, isn't it? I must admit I do prefer fishing shorter distances where I can get away with it, but it is a bit shallow here for that. Well, there we go. As I say, it's getting a bit windy today. Wind's coming across me, so it's a good test for this piece of kit. And come on, I'm not going to bully him. Yay, we're in. First fish of the day. And he's about the 4 pound range, exactly as I said before, nicely hooked in the bottom lip. Let's put that down. There you go, look, not bad at all, is it? Good start then. Just going to put 4 bits of corn onto the hair. Fill the feeder up exactly as before. I've got, as I saw, some corn and pellets, and I've also got some wheat. Wheat are very similar particles in many ways to ground bait, but they're smaller, and I like it, so I brought some along with me. But certainly the way this flies so far is really good. I don't really use a lot of window feeders, but I think I might from now on. Alright, so find the marker. And bump, hit the clip, straightens everything out. With this being 55 grams to start with as the feeder, by the time you've added in the bait, you're looking at least that again. So you're going to be looking at the sort of 110, 120 grams range, which is the maximum capability of this Free Spirit rod. I mean, I'm sure I could get, I don't know, maybe another 20 meters or so out of that if I had to, but frankly, as I say, if I can catch them at 40, I'd rather do that than catch them anything like 70 or 80 meters. But if I needed to, I could do that. So this is great so far. Although I am getting a bit cold. Just a quick look at the time. 10:16. I've been fishing for 12 minutes. That's including getting the fish in. Right, get me hat on then. Get me hat on. Get me sorted out. What I might do as well, I've got this molasses in here, I might also inject it in through the side slot here, as you can see, into there, so that can go into the bait. So quite a versatile idea, but if they've already turned up, well, maybe I won't need that. Well, we're about 15 minutes further on from that fish, and there's been no other indications, no liners or anything, so that was probably something of a fluke by the sound of things. And generally in this water it's 2 hours before you get a bite. It's almost like setting your clock by it. So I've been going for about half an hour in total now. I'm going to keep just putting smallish amounts of bait in, and hopefully they will turn up in this next sort of, I don't know, hour and a half or so. But as you see, no tangles, the rig works fine. Yeah, quite pleased so far. Did have a bit of a disaster. On my last cast, I shouldn't admit this, but I got something caught up, and it's a good job I've got a shock leader on, because I don't know what got round what, but as usual, you do one of those miscasts and it goes whoomp, splat in the water in front of you. So I probably won't show you that, eh? All right, let's get this back out there, making sure we're completely clear of any tangles and whatever around the tip. Wasn't a tip one, I don't think, though. There we go. All right. Pleasant enough day though. It's warming up a little bit now. As I said, it is winter, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what the temperature is actually, thinking about it. I'll have a quick look, see where we're at. And my location, that's not bad. It's up to 12 degrees. Summer day in England, isn't it? Flipping freezing here though. Let's trim the tip a bit. This isn't the deepest part of the lake actually. There's a few miles further down, which you probably saw. I did that video before when I was fishing the national championships in 2023, and at 30 turns I was getting about 36 feet deep. This isn't anything like that, but I've caught here well before, even in this sort of 12 feet or so of water, so ever hopeful.
On WhatsApp.
Oh.
Yay.
Oh, number 2. Now this has been, what time is it now, mate? Half 11. So
Hopefully they've turned up.
yeah, I've been waiting for, what is it now, 20 minutes, another hour since I've had this second bite. So it's like I said, it's sort of 2 hours worth, and then you start to get fish, and here we are, an hour and a half in, and this is the second fish. It's always the same on these venues. So this one's actually just coming in. He'll fight underneath me rod tip, but decent sort of bite, wasn't it? Got one of my mates behind me, so I won't mess it up too much because he'll laugh. Right, he's just coming in. He's literally off down to the left there. This is a weird fight. He's got to start fighting soon. He's way down to the left. Right, I'm on the shock leader. Just make sure I'm still recording. Yeah, we're okay. Had a bit of an issue with that this morning because it's been that long since I did it too. Here he is, look. And what have we got? Oh, it's just a normal carp. Thought it might have been an F1. We do seem to get those in this area. Right. Wouldn't be surprised if he started to fight a bit more now. As I keep saying though, it is winter, so of course you're not expecting to get the same amount of fight as you would in the summer. Again, we'll take it fairly easy. That's him deciding to disappear, look. Don't think he's anywhere near as big as the last one. Finger's hurting because I'm having to hold it out on the spool now. Had to mean index finger, didn't it? Got I injured, couldn't injure something else. Right, come on. He doesn't want to know, does he? It's not as big as the last one, definitely. There he is, in the net. We're all right. That's number 2. Okay. Oh, I don't know, he's not that far off. And it's just on the corner of his lip, look. Again, fairly standard sort of, whoops, keep still fish. Sort of standard sort of fish for here. There you go. Whew. Well, that was a decent bite as well.
Yeah, it's good.
Oops.
Great.
But isn't it funny, eh? I mean, here we are an hour and a half in, and there we go. And let's see now if it starts to really turn on.
Oh yeah, they'll sniff it out. They'll be there now.
Yeah. There you go.
They're there now.
They are there, aren't they? How long was that in? About 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. So there you go then, folks. It just goes to show, doesn't it? Hour and a half, 2 hours in, and bump, off we go. And it also goes to show that these new feeders are working well. As I say, normally I'd use an ordinary cage feeder with a side weight on it. But well, this one's fighting better, isn't he? So yeah, I'm quite pleased about this so far. This will be the 3rd fish. And hopefully they'll continue like this. And as I say, even though it's winter, you can really amass a big weight. You can do well over £100 easily on these sorts of things. There was a match last week that I didn't get to go to, and Mark behind me won one of them with 66 kilos, which is what, 130, 140 pounds, and there were a few other weights around that as well. So just goes to show it can be done. Right, this one's decided to come towards me now. Oh, I'm on the leader. I don't know if you heard that coming through the rings, and he's out there a bit. Try and avoid my index finger causing me a problem this time. Do you know, I don't know if I could do 100 odd pounds of fish with this index finger, because I'm having to hold it like that, and that's causing me an issue. And that's what happened in that practice match 2 months ago when I tried to use it, and it just swelled up like a balloon the next day. Let's bring him in again, sort of slightly below the average size, I think, but soon build a weight with these, wouldn't you? And come on, there you go. So 3, not bad, eh? Not bad at all. And that didn't take long to go around at all, did it? Barbless hooks as usual. As I said, 4 bits of corn on a hair, size 10 hook. Tell you what, mate, if I chuck in this time and it goes round after 30 seconds, they're definitely all there then, aren't they?
I think it will.
We'll soon find out.
I think the maggot brings on the F1s.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Because that's 2 carp you've had there, isn't it? So,
Yeah, I've had 3 in total, yeah,
and
so,
all carp, so.
yeah.
Whereas I had 20, I must have had 20 F1s.
And what are they, a kilo a piece generally?
Yeah, you know, you average a kilo a piece.
Yeah,
So you've lost a kilo, in other words.
yeah,
20 kilos I didn't get.
exactly,
All the carp were around 2 kilos.
exactly. Wet feet. The waves have got up. That's all I need, isn't it? I just went for a cup of tea, I got my feet wet on the way out, and I got my feet wet on the way back in, and it's freezing. Right, I'm going to give it one more cast, I think, and I'm going to call it quits with that. I think I've proven what I need to do, but I would like to stay on a bit further if I could, but I've got to be careful because I've got the best wife in the world behind me in the car as well. So I'll have one more cast, I think, and we'll probably leave it at that. It is still a bit chilly, and this flipping wind's getting up, so I'll be starting to freeze fairly shortly because I can already feel my feet getting cold, but I really would like to catch one more fish. We'll see how we go. Either way, I've enjoyed myself. Just a question of keeping wife happy now. Right. It's not been fast and furious, but then I haven't been here all that long, probably a couple of hours or so. But hey, the main thing is, these things are casting well. They're getting as far as I need it to, even with this crosswind. Bear with me. They cast brilliantly. There you go, hit the clip, and in we go. So, more than happy with the way things are working out. They're catching fish. Can't ask for much more than that. What I'll do next week, I think, is I'll do a little video showing you how I make these things, put them together, and generally how they're designed to sort of sit so the side window is always, so the window is always at the side. But I think just for the moment, because this wind's getting stronger and these waves are getting higher, I think we'll probably best call it quits at that one. I'm going to try and get another fish, as I say, on this last cast, and I might have one more last cast after that, but my feet are already freezing. So look guys, that's it for another one. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly have so far, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.